as the OKN Junior Final is upon us. 15 laps this final 18-kilometer race distance. It's going to be an exciting one. Could all go his way at the end of this one. Toby Gale, there he is on your screen, the driver from Thailand, ready ahead of this one. Pole position for him. There's a look at his results. Qualified on pole position, second and first for him. Puts him on that front row spot and smiles out for the drivers. He's in a very strong spot. 5-minute board goes up then at the front. Here's a look at the Drivers' Academy standings at this point. 609 for Anagnostiadis, Connor Clancy with 470. Now, of course, that doesn't, at this stage, include dropped scores. I've been doing the mental calculations on that one. It currently stands at 552 after dropped scores versus 427. The rest of the drivers just getting themselves sorted out as the yellow flag waves, indicating 30 seconds before the lights go green and we get the green flag. And this race can start its formation laps. And for the first time this weekend, we will be racing in a final condition. Last few preparations being made. Xavier Dudkowski there at the back of the field. Eyes closed as, oh dear, engine troubles for potentially Aryan Singh there as the mechanic is trying to get it started. Now, unfortunately, that mechanic has put himself in a really dangerous spot here now because he's standing in the middle of the track with all the carts coming through. That is why you are not allowed to start there, and I suspect you can already see it. Martin Bean, our race director, giving him a little bit of a talking to. That was, if the cart doesn't start, you've got to push it back. That start-finish line is effectively the white line that they have coming out of Parc Ferme. But here's the grid then for that final. Toby Gale and James Anagnostiadis on row number 1. Nathan Cappin and William Marshall on row 2. Leonidas Peruzzi and Matthias Wipfer on row 3. Egon Pedrotti and Aryan Singh on row 4. Connor Clancy and Nicola Stanley on row 5. Ella Hakkinen and Vanessa Shilkaneta on row number 6. Maxim Bobrajov and Delia Islamov on row 7. They'll have Oscar Gallin and Axel Nokom on row 8. Veer Chopra and Angelina Simmons go from row number 9. Zachariah Dole and Enna Pizzuto on row 10. They'll have Emilia Vishamirska and Kaiser Ziza on row 11. Jan Michalewsko and Sujana Dandu on row 12. Jacob Woods and Marcel Scapella, they round out row number 13. They'll have Victoria Farfus, as unfortunately someone's not going, and it's Jacob Woods. Unfortunately, the Briton will not get started in this one. The driver is supposed to start 25th. Well, that's a very unfortunate one for him, and I don't actually think that is that Jacob Woods? Is that a 65 or is that an 85? I think it's the 65 there. It's got a bit of a... It is the 65, yeah. It is Jacob Woods. But it's, yes, you can see his race suit there. Woods on the back of it. The other rows as well in this one. 14th rows, Casper Reipold and Victoria Farfus there. Then you have Didier Krieft and Mitash Jain on row 15. Sanjana Dandu and Xavier Dudkowski on row 16. And Corinne Kaur and Vera Jurland on row 17. So already some dramas here on the opening stage of this penultimate final of the season. Into the tram lines. Who will it be at the end of this one? Are we going racing? My screen doesn't update. I don't think we are. I think that might be a false start, and I will confirm it is a false start. So they are going round again, and yes, they can see a false start flag just fluttering there on the left-hand side of your screen. And, well, that's good news. Thumbs up. Looks like Jacob Woods is back in this one. Luckily for him, it is a false start. And he might be able to get himself back into position here. Now, he is due to start P25 alongside the 30 of Marcel Sapella. It'll be behind Jan Michalewski and ahead of Victoria Farfus. So, hopefully, can find himself back into that position. Let's see, drivers making their way into Sector 3 now. And this is the last few moments then before, hopefully, a lights out start this time around. There is. Well, he's being pointed through, but I don't think I think Woods is thinking, I don't have the time now, because they're quickly approaching the red line on the circuit. In fact, they've passed it, and I think he's just going to sit in the back of the grid. That's a smart decision, that one, because it would have been out of position completely. Here we go then, into the tram lines. We are racing, lights are out. It's a great start for the inside row, and Gale gets away well at the front of this one. But how do the rest of them fare? Where is Anagnosiadis? He's there currently in third place, side by side for second. Oh, he's going to get squeezed out wide there. Capin under pressure from the drivers behind, but Capin's held on to P2 right now as the rest of the field go through. This is their longest race of the weekend, 15 laps. These drivers have got an eyes on this one, and it's a clean getaway once again. Toby Gale looking so strong at this point of the weekend, delivering really, really strong results. This final last year, Gale finished P4. If he can improve on that one with a P1, he'll be absolutely delighted. Marshall to the inside. Now on the charge, gets through past Leonidas Peruzzi. Peruzzi getting squeezed back wide now. Gale leads the way from Capin. Then it's Marshall, Peruzzi, Anagnosiadis, Clancy, Pedrotti and Vitva. Connor Clancy has had a superb start in this race. Up 3 places, now behind Anagnosiadis. Well, Anagnosiadis now has pushed past Peruzzi, so Clancy's going to have to dig deep in this phase now. See if he can match the Australian's pace. There you can see Clancy in the 16. He's done that. He's done exactly what he needed to do. Put himself right behind Anagnosiadis. But I think this is still going to be enough for Anagnosiadis here. We'll confirm that overnight because there's still a full day of racing tomorrow with many more points up for grabs. These drivers fully dialed in and focused now at the end of lap number 2. Gale still leads the way now, clear by 1.4 seconds. Capin, Marshall, Anagnosiadis still chasing behind Clancy and Peruzzi. Still very close. Egon Pedrotti and Vitva. Ella Hakkinen still there as well. Jacob Woods under investigation. Now, I am curious to find out what that is for. Now, he was the driver who unfortunately lost out at the start of that race. As down the inside comes Anagnosiadis once again. It's time past Marshall. And Connor Clancy again can just see that title fight slipping and slipping further and further away as Anagnosiadis pushes himself up the order here. Both these drivers pushing strong. Marshall in between the two of them. Again, he's going to focus on his race right now. He's not bothered about the fight that's going on around him, but Clancy trying to go down the inside there at turn 16. Not going to work out, and all he's going to do there and lose out on time between himself and Anagnosiadis, who is breaking away now. Further down in the order, are we seeing big movers? We are. Reipold, after that incident in his second heat earlier on, pushing himself up nicely. 7 places gained, same as Vera Yuland. There is some of the weekend stats from Anagnosiadis and Clancy. Clancy behind Marshall at the moment, going through your shot. But a drastic difference between the two of them. Marshall there with 4th all the way throughout. Clancy 15th, 12th and 7th. Just see there a stark difference between the two, but they find themselves on track at the same spot here. As Anagnosiadis is on the charge again, back down the inside, this time at turn 17. Australian back into P2. Now the question is, can he close in on Gale? That's the question. He's 2.1 seconds away from that spot. But this is a close one. Gale continuing to set fastest lap after fastest lap. He's not had to work his tyres too much. He saved them a lot earlier on. But in this position here, they're in a really strong spot. Gale from Anagnosiadis, Capin and Marshall, 1, 2, 3, 4. As it stands, the virtual championship is as so as well. 635 points for Anagnosiadis. And it's now 486 for William Marshall. That puts 149 points between them. And that's before drop scores. And remember, there's 152 up for grabs over the course of this weekend. It's so tantalizingly close. But when you factor in the drop scores, it's still incredibly close in those points. But Anagnostiotis just needs to continue to fight his way through here. Clancy makes the move past Marshall, but Marshall fights back. And this is not what Conor Clancy wants. That title again is slowly slipping out of his hands. And now Anagnostiotis just continues to try and push away. Marshall does not care about the title fight. Marshall is not in contention. He's fourth in the points. And in this point of the race, he actually drops to fifth as Gale, who leads the way, steps up to fourth now. As, oh dear, there's been drama for two. The 37 and the 30 are out of this race. And there you can see it's all going wrong for Dandu. This is not what you want to see at all. Sanjana Dandu out of this race. And unfortunately caught with Marcel Capella. That's another race for Capella where he's just not had the results he's wanted. He had a half spin earlier on. Retirement now. Yellow flags are out in that sector. There is the Cummings together. This is just Clancy and Marshall through the chicane. God, big hits of those curbs there. Fabulous shots, but my goodness, you don't want to hit those curbs too much. It's the exit of the final corner, back over the start-finish straight. Gale's lead, still 2.2 seconds. Clear from Anagnostiotis. Kappen, Marshall, still third and fourth. Conor Clancy from Pedrotti. Vitva from Bobrajov. Ella Hakkinen from Peruzzi now finds himself in P10. Toby Gale once more, fastest lap of the race. 56.181. is looking so strong this weekend. Say the driver from Thailand, he finished that first final last year in P4. He's looking so much stronger in this year's 2024 season. Clancy has still not found a way past Marshall. Marshall is doing a brilliant job here of defending that position. The South African, though, will have to concede it as down the inside, Clancy gets that move complete finally for him. He can find that sense of relief as he now has to try and close that gap up towards Kappen up ahead. That gap is less than a second. It's 9/10 though. It's a long fight. But the points continue to change now. 490 for your man in second in the points. But right now, Anagnostiotis just needs to focus on getting this car to the end and not worrying about anything else. The points gap comes down to 145 before drop scores. Still doable at this stage. It's not over just yet. Remember, if Anagnostiotis doesn't score any points in this one, he drops down a big chunk. Gaps them down even further. You can see the hand gestures coming in, saying focus, look forward, don't look back, close that gap. But here, Pedrotti on the back of Marshall is looking to really benefit in this one. Again, Pedrotti's results 6th and 9th. Currently sits 6th at the moment. P5 would be his best result of the weekend. Well, Marshall's going to communicate with him to say, okay, let's think, let's push. It's not battle and fall back. However, they haven't done much battling here. And they are still dropping off the back of Conor Clancy. So, I suspect, you know, Pedrotti might be thinking at this point, can I close in and get that move done, get past, and now I can focus on closing that gap. But right now, the two of them will just stay line astern for the time being. End of lap 10, on to lap 11. Gale's lead still put 2.1 seconds. Got to say, Anagnostiotis is being closed in a little bit here. The Australian is not in the strongest of positions here. Kappen, who has consistently looked quick this weekend. Great results for him. Third and second, fourth in qualifying. He was looking for that win. He's had a fourth, third, and now second. He was hoping for a first, but that is slowly fading away here. Anagnosiadis, there's a look at his stats. Second in qualifying, first and third. Put him on that front row, gave him those 22 title points to his name to help that fight out. It opens up that gap. There's a look at his final results as well. The only driver to win multiple finals this season. And of course for Toby Gale, he only scored the one final win. Scored that at round 2 in Valencia. But he's not had another final win since then. Did the rest of Europe. Franciacorta wasn't his weekend as well as, whoa, here comes the changes. Pedrotti finally gets past Marshall. Marshall's done a brilliant job of holding on to position here, but Clancy is on the charge here. Connor Clancy right on that rear bumper of Capin now. Capin, who's looking to try and get his first podium of the season, is under pressure here from Clancy. Clancy, who took the win in this final last year, now looks to the inside. Oh, he just doesn't get the room on the exit though. And there, Capin denying the chance of getting past. This is allowing Anagnosiadis to break away now. He should be clear in second place. He is holding Connor Clancy at bay here. Is Nathan Capin as he continues his fight here at Alpha San. The driver representing the United Arab Emirates is delivering a superb challenge here as the Marshall-Pedrotti battle has continued. Marshall's got back up to P5 now as the rest of the field slotting through. Let's have a look further back in the orders as it's simmered down just a little bit now between these drivers. Bobajov up 5 places into P8. Oscar Gallin up 3 places into P12. The biggest movers, though, got to go to 17th and 18th. Casper Reipold and Didier Kreeft both up 11 places, 17th and 18th on circuit. Still no action between these two after the moves changed further on. Connor Clancy is up into P4. Now with the fastest lap of the race, is doing everything he can to try and close that championship fight up. Gives himself that extra championship point, putting the gap now to 144 between the two of them. That, of course, is before dropped scores. When you apply the drop scores, we have to wait for this race to be done because this can affect the drop scores depending on their results. So the championship fight still is in flux between the two of them. There, Marshall, Pedrotti, line astern. 5th and 6th is their positions. A look, 4th and 6th is nearly all around. Pedrotti 9th, though, in that last one. Dropping back as we go on to the final lap of this race. Toby Gale has controlled this one. The driver from Thailand, certainly a very strong competitor. Only had the one final win in Valencia. Scored no points last time out in Elaine, apart from the 17 he gained in the first round of qualifying heats. As there is Nicholas Stanley. The American is out of this race. And it looks to me like Sujana Dandu's number 31 is also there. They have tumbled down the order. Amelia Vishamirska is one as well, but eyes will focus on the front here because into the final corner from Thailand for only the 2nd time this season, Toby Gale wins the final in spectacular fashion. It is the man from Thailand, Toby Gale, in the OKN junior category. He's done it. But for James Anagnosiadis, it's a P2. Puts him on 635. I will need to do some maths on this one because the drop scores do affect it. I don't know if he's done enough just yet. If he has, there is points between them, and I'm talking a handful. So Anagnosiadis, I think we're going to have to hold out for tomorrow because Clancy in P4. James Anagnosiadis, though, has done a brilliant job finishing in P2. Capon finishing in 3rd place from Connor Clancy. Marshall from Pedrotti. Hakkinen from Bobrajov. The top runners. Now we've just got to think here on those drop scores. I'm sure they're probably doing the mental calculations as well. But that is a solid score there for 2nd place. Of course, the 2nd place brings you 44 points for Anagnosiadis. Connor Clancy finishing that one, of course, down in P4. Gives him a little less points on that. I believe it's the 38. No, that's the 3rd place position points. So again, there's lots of calculations that need to be made here in terms of whether or not he's done it. I believe it's 34 for a 3rd.